the Stir It Up show. And before we went to break, we was getting some comments from our audience. So I want to go straight back to our audience before we come back to the girls. Thoughts, feedback? Let's finish our conversation.
All right, I just got a brain freeze. I was going to comment on her point. I was going to come back.
That she was saying it didn't matter to her, or?
Right, but she said the reason. Okay, all right. The reason why I heard you say black men date white women for social status or something.
Yeah, for
like
status
that.
and power.
That's true. Some do for social status.
I knew it.
But some do. Like you named a couple of athletes and all
They
that.
do.
Yeah, they do.
They do.
No.
They do. But Stina, I'm telling you, I know.
How do you know?
I know it. I know it. I know it. I don't have to personally know them to know that that's why they date white. Yes. Yes, well, Kobe used to date in high school, right after Kobe, all through high school, Kobe was dating a little black, I'm not saying like that, he dated a black woman. Soon as he made it to the NBA, because remember, I don't even think he went to college, I think he went straight to the NBA. He left, that girl did a comment in a column, they interviewed her, I cannot remember her name, and he left her to go be with a white woman. That's what he felt was better.
But we don't know all the circumstances. Exactly, that's my point. You don't know all the circumstances, you're just going based on perception.
I'm sorry,
your thoughts and how you feel.
Well, call me psychic, call me what you want to call me, but that's what I think. I mean, I truly believe that that's what they go for. I think they feel like it's less hassle. I do feel like...
I don't think it's less hassle. I think that, and I guess maybe we don't have a pure white woman up here to maybe speak from her standpoint.
You're close enough.
But I can speak from my mom's standpoint, and I think that a lot of times we're not giving white women credit where credit is due. They're just like any other woman. They may not have been brought up the same way or whatever, but some white women, yes, they may take certain things from men, but black women take shit from men too, all the time.
Yes,
it's the same thing.
Yes,
The same stuff that I'm going to take from a man is going to be the same thing more than likely a white woman is going to take from a man. It's that individual and that person. And in today's society, we need to stop looking back at what they did in the past. Is that this reality is you can love who you want. God did not tell you that you got to love a certain race. I didn't read that anywhere.
I will say this. I do think, and I'm not saying it's 100%, but I do think that Caucasian people are raised differently than black people. Most white people, to be honest, they raise their kids of when you graduated, as soon as they're graduating from college, their parents are buying them a house and they got to talk about you ready to get married. They already have that plan and picked out for them. It's white people, is what I'm saying.
It is to a certain, but you got a lot of friends just like us.
If I had money, I probably would do the same thing for my kids because I want better for them. That don't mean that because I'm white or black, I'm going to do it. Regardless, if you want better for your kids, you're going to do better for your kids regardless.
But it goes back to how you raise. You do not see that many black families that raise their kids to think like that. Because if that was the case, I'm not saying that white women don't go have a bunch of kids by a whole bunch of white men. But I will tell you, a whole lot of black women go have 5 or 6 babies by 5 different black men because of the fact their parents didn't raise them with some of them same principles. So I think in reality of it is the way that they were raised is differently. So white men respect that and they look up to that. So when black men do, and when
I think you would be surprised.
I disagree, different men because they weren't raised.
No, I'm not saying. I'm saying they were raised differently. That's all that I'm saying. They are raised differently. I do think they are. I'll go to my. What we're gonna do is come back to us, but we're gonna go to our audience.
I think you would be surprised. I feel that you're wrong and you're right at the same time.
I can accept that too.
I feel that if you looked at a lot of families that were Afro-American that had both a mother and a father figure involved, that were of precedence or had a true feeling and relationship with their kids, would treat their kids and their situation the exact same way that she's talking about, the way that white families do.
I agree. If they had that, but they're raised differently.
I'll let you speak.
Right.
The problem is that doesn't happen very often.
I agree.
There are no families, unfortunately, very often, percentage-wise, in the black community. But that doesn't mean that she's necessarily wrong, nor does that mean that we should give the white folk or the white families a hard time because they have that ability to do that. The white families are doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're staying together, they're raising their families and handling their business. And I can't speak for, although I have dated some black women, I can't really speak for black families or black heritage because of course I didn't grow up in that environment. But the families that are black, that are staying together, you see it more than not. They are doing what the white families are doing. They're just not doing it when they're not there.
Yeah, and I think it's just a smaller percentage. I think if you look at the ratio of numbers, it is what it is. And I mean, that's just to be honest. I'm not bashing our society and who we are as black people. You know what I'm saying? That's not what I'm doing at all. You know, I was raised up until 12 years old with my mother and father in the house. So I got those basic principles, you know, early on. You know, unfortunately, you know, when my mom passed away and being a young daughter and being raised by, you know, a one-person household, I didn't get sometimes what I saw some of my other friends got when they were raised by two parents. They had different principles in regard to things. They went on to college. I'm just saying there are some differences. I'm not saying that it's all true all the way across the board, but I'm saying there are some differences in how they're raised and we're raised. And some black men do feel like that what they see how white women have been raised, they like that, they attract that. And sometimes they feel like that's the easy way to get up the ladder and to be successful. That's my opinion, and that's kind of what I am saying. I worked in corporate America, and I had a lot of black executives who dated white women. But again, I saw that they dated black women too.
The world
but it
is
happened.
based on that. You work for corporate America. I own a very large staffing company, and I employ about 87% Afro-American. I have about 188 Afro-Americans working for me. And what you're saying, although may be true, it is not necessarily because of want, but because of situations that have transpired. It's not because white people are any different than black people. It's just because of the situations that black people and the white people
it's exposure and it's experience and it's how they're raised. That's why I said my point is I'm not bashing how, and I'm not saying that about black people. I'm saying the way they raise, it starts up here, and that's going to trickle down to what you get down here. That's my opinion, and I've been exposed to all sides of it.
Whites and blacks are in the same schools now. We've integrated.
Some. My daughter went to a school where there was 85% whites. I mean, it depends. Both of my kids were raised, my choice was they went to predominantly white schools. So that may be the case in some areas, but a lot of parents now are busing their kids to send them to other schools so that they can get some diversity. But I think that's like a whole nother subject. And what we got to do, and I appreciate your comments, I appreciate the ladies' comments, but what we're going to have to do is we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back with our last segment of the Stir It Up Show. Thanks for joining.